Hey everyone, how's it going? I thought I would do a video blog post today and do something different. I've never taken a personality test before, and I just randomly went on Google and I typed in personality test, and I came up with this website called 16personalities.com. I have no connection to these people. I am not endorsing them, promoting them, or saying that they're great or whatever. I don't know. So I thought what I would do today is I would do a personality test that they have on their website in real time and see what happens and what will be revealed. So this is all just fly by night, and I'm looking forward to sharing with all of you. I'm at the URL right now on my screen, 16personalities.com/free-personality-test. So if you want, you can follow along with the questions, do it at the same time as I'm doing, and then share your comments after. And of course, I'll share the results of what comes up. So here are statements. So basically how the test is structured is there is a statement, and I have to agree with it, be neutral to it, or disagree. Now, the agrees and the disagrees have three levels. So I can strongly disagree, somewhat, a little bit agree, and the same thing for disagree. Okay, so statement number one. You find it difficult to introduce yourself to other people. That one I would say I would mildly agree with. All right, I'm going to mildly agree with that one. And the reason why is because people think that I'm outgoing and extroverted, and to a certain extent I am, but I do have this thing about things that are familiar and comfortable, and that includes people around me. And so sometimes I find it like if I go to a party and stuff, I have a very difficult time introducing myself or being forward to introduce myself to people. But that being said, I'm not complete, just stay in the corner and never talk to anybody either. So that's why I agree mildly. Number two. You often get so lost in thoughts that you ignore or forget your surroundings. I'm going to mildly disagree with that. Being a creative person, obviously I do a lot of daydreaming and brainstorming and stuff, but at the same time I do take pride, and I'm quite type A, and I like to be in control of things and know my surroundings and stuff. I've never been pickpocketed before or anything. I'm always aware of my surroundings when I'm out and about. Yeah, I think that would probably capture that well. Next one. You try to respond to your emails as soon as possible and cannot stand a messy inbox. Oh my gosh, I strongly agree with that. I am notorious. Anybody who ever emails me knows that I will get back to you as soon as possible. My inbox is lean and mean. I don't have hardly anything in there. I don't like clutter, things piling up. So I strongly agree with that. Next, you find it easy to stay relaxed even when there is some pressure. That's a good one. I would have strongly disagreed with that statement a long time ago, but I'm going to pat myself on the back and say I am getting quite good at that. In fact, I tend to get uneasy and full of anxiety when nothing is going on, believe it or not. But for some reason, when there is pressure, there is something that I have taught myself, and I'm very proud of myself, that I've learned to stay relaxed in those types of situations. So I'm not perfect though. So I'm going to say of the three levels of agree, I'm going to put that at a level 2 of agree. You do not usually initiate conversations. I am gonna disagree with that mildly. When I really want to connect with somebody and I'm passionate, about something I'm working on or something I feel strongly about, I will reach out. Mind you, I don't reach out. I will offer to reach out in person, but in this day and age of social media, I don't know if that makes it easy or whatever. But I don't mind that. So I'm gonna disagree with that. A level 2 though. Okay, you rarely do something just out of sheer curiosity. Yeah, I'm gonna level 2 agree with that. I'm such a control freak myself and stuff like that. Usually, I do a very deep analysis of why I should or should not do something. So I'm gonna mildly agree with that. Okay, and there is a next button. So I click the next button. You feel superior to other people. Oh. I'm going to do a level 2 disagree on that. I suffer from bad self-esteem just very naturally, so if anything, I'm often the opposite, and I'm feeling I do feel, sometimes that, just the bad self-esteem, and I look to other people and thinking how awesome they are and stuff, so I usually have the opposite feeling. That being said, I am proud of the way I'm very lucky, and I feel proud of how I've organized my life and given the opportunities of people that I do. And I sometimes look at people, especially loved ones who might be struggling in life, and think, oh my gosh, I wish they would have it better in life and that kind of thing. So at that moment in your thought process, I guess I could be completely honest here and say maybe I do feel a little superior to others at that moment, but in general not, especially because of just sometimes wallowing in depression that I suffer from. I can't help but be the opposite. Okay, next. Being organized is more important to you than being adaptable. Oh my gosh. My middle name is organization, so I have to strongly agree with that. You are highly motivated and energetic. I will put that a level 2 agree, like 80 to 90% of the time, for sure. And a lot of you who know me will think, why aren't you putting the highest degree? Because all of you are so kind and often reaching out and saying how awesome you think what I do and what I'm doing and that kind of thing, which is awesome. But sometimes I just don't have any gas in the emotional tank, and sometimes I do feel the opposite, but not very much. Next, winning a debate matters less to you than making sure no one gets upset. Winning a debate matters less to you than making sure no one gets upset. So, you know what? I will strongly agree with that. So loved ones might find that an interesting answer because of the fact that I do have a tendency, especially in the past, to really love to debate. I have strong feelings about many important issues in our world and that type of thing. But it's one of those things that I've been sort of conscious of how I've been adapting as a human being in the last bunch of years. And that is something that I've been consciously making an effort to do with my fellow humans, especially with friends and family. Life is too short. If somebody really feels passionate about their viewpoint on something, am I really going to change their mind? Why debate it? That's been my attitude about such things lately, and that has been growing more and more, so that's why I put that answer. Next, you often feel as if you have to justify yourself to other people. Well, that's a good one. Being a musician and an artist, I'm constantly doing that. Every day, putting my stuff out there, but I'm not obsessed with it. It's not like complete, like a big thing in my life. So I'm going to mildly agree with that one. Next, your home and work environments are quite tidy. Yes, for sure. Marie Kondo would have no business with me. Well, maybe she would. I don't know. Maybe I can always do better. But the fact that I'm always thinking about how I can be more tidy probably means that I'm quite tidy and I'm a minimalist at heart. I love getting rid of stuff. It's therapeutic. I get a major high from that, so I'm going to strongly agree with that. And moving on. You do not mind being at the center of attention. I'm gonna maybe level 2 agree on that. Being a musician, and I've done a lot of performing before, and I also, I'm very, I feel very grateful that a lot of people have invited me to talk and be in public settings and stuff. So obviously, if I was uncomfortable with that, I wouldn't do it as much or accept such offers being in the world of music and stuff. So I will have to mildly agree. Level 2 agree. You consider yourself more practical than creative. Oh my gosh, that is so difficult because everything about revolves my whole aura and feeling of why I'm on this earth is about being creative. But that being said, I am very practical and I like to make plans and think things out and have game plans and strategies for stuff. But I often do that, I think, to push my creativity forward and make me more creative. But I think at the same time, I just wired that way. So, I can't pick the practical versus creative over one else. So I'm going to do my first neutral answer. I don't agree or disagree. People can rarely upset you. Oh my gosh. I'm going to strongly disagree with that. I am very, very sensitive to criticism. I've got a very soft heart. I've tried so desperately, with, just work and bettering myself over the years to try to be more Teflon-like and, in emotions. And I still find it very, very, very difficult. So I'm going to have to strongly disagree with that. Your travel plans are usually well thought out. Yes. Anytime my wife and I go on a trip, or whether it's for business or pleasure, we can spend days, if not weeks, planning it out. And I'm happy we do because like 95% of the time we have an awesome time wherever we go or that kind of thing. But definitely I do that. Next, it is often difficult for you to relate to other people's feelings. I'm gonna, is Frank a sociopath? Basically, that's what's asking. And I guess, no, I'm not. But I'm not going to strongly disagree with that. And I wish I did strongly disagree with that. Sometimes I do look at myself and say, I wish I had more empathy or sympathy for my fellow human. And when I do, I tend to really grasp it. I'll compose a piece of music about, a story I've heard or somebody that I know personally or that kind of thing. But at the same time, and I've done volunteer work in the past, but at the same time, I do find myself, just full disclosure here, sometimes I feel emotionally like I just will look the other way sometimes. And I hate myself for that, but I can't help it. So just to be fully honest, I'd have to say it's not a level 1 or a 3 disagree, but it is definitely level 2. Your mood can change very quickly. Okay, so that I'm definitely going to agree with that, but I'll go with a level 2 agree with that. I'm not going to put number 3 because then I would just be bouncing all over the place and I probably wouldn't get anything done. But I am shocked, and I think this has to do with battling depression. It must be that. It must be medical. That for no reason at all sometimes I can just go from very happy to very sad, or even, thankfully, sometimes the opposite. But yeah, I can have swings. All right, wow, this is still going on. This questionnaire is going on forever. If you're still watching this, you guys are awesome. Thank you. Continuing. In a discussion, truth should be more important than people's sensitivities. Ooh, I'm going to go neutral on that. You know, I know truth is the best medicine. People feel really strongly that you should always say the truth, and that's how to the best to treat your fellow human and that kind of thing. But I will admit, full disclosure, if I feel the situation is wrong and I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings or something like that, I will lie. But not always. Sometimes I will be very truthful. So it's back and forth. Next, you rarely worry about how your reactions affect other people. Oh gosh, I'm going to strongly disagree with that. I definitely worry about that a lot, just for a lot of the reasons I mentioned earlier. Your work style is closer to random energy spikes than to a methodical and organized approach. I'm going to go neutral on that because sometimes I could just be sitting at home and it's just like I've just come up with an idea for a composition and I'm doing it right there and then because I've got the energy and I've got the thing. Actually, I found lately I've been doing that more, which tends to go against my methodical and organized approach. So my obsessive compulsiveness might be getting under control because I am these days more willing just to sort of just start a project or start composing a piece of music just because it's happening in my brain and my heart right there and then. So I'm going to go back and forth. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. You are often envious of others. Yes, level 2 agree for reasons I mentioned earlier. An interesting book or a video game is often better than a social event. Okay, well, here's something interesting. I have never played video games. Well, maybe a handful of times in my life I've played a video game. Very rarely, so I can't say that. An interesting book. I am not a reader. I don't read a lot. Believe it or not, I like audiobooks. And that's a big thing for me. I think I'm just an audio-driven person. I love listening to a lot of music. I love film and television. I love going to live shows. I do read. I will sit down, but I'm not an avid reader. And of course I listen to tons of music. So I like to be stimulated. I find that I'm that type of person. I like to be stimulated by sight and by sound, but not necessarily analytical. So video game is sort of like that. So the question's skewed. I have a hard time answering it, but definitely, even though sometimes I can be antisocial, I like getting out, and I really appreciate having done a social event after I did it. I'm always like, oh, I'm so happy I went to that, even though maybe before I didn't, I just wanted to be inward and introverted. So I'm going to have to say, I'm going to disagree level 2 with that statement, that an interesting book or a video game would definitely not be better than a social event. Next. Being able to develop a plan and stick to it is the most important part of every project. Yes, absolutely. I've done lots of projects. I've been so fortunate in my creative work life to have done so many projects, and they were planned to the hilt, all the successful ones, and it ended up resulting in something I felt really proud of looking back at it. So I'm going to strongly agree with that. Oh my gosh, this thing is still going. Okay, maybe I'm going to start rapid firing through these. You rarely get carried away by fantasies or ideas. I'm going to do level 2, disagree with that. I'm just a creative person, so actually it's a good thing, and I'm happy I do. You often find yourself lost in thought when you're walking in nature. Most definitely level 2. Not always. Sometimes I'm thinking about nothing. I love walking. I walk every day, and in the park system here where we live in Toronto, and it's awesome. But sometimes I'm thinking about nothing, and sometimes I'm thinking about practical things. But I sometimes also just brainstorm. If someone does not respond to your email quickly, you start worrying if you said something wrong. I will do level 1, agree with that. Again, that has to do with bad self-esteem and just carrying emotional baggage of when I've inadvertently hurt people in the past. So yeah, I can definitely think about it, but that not too much because I tend to be very meticulous in writing emails. So, and I also have adopted the que sera sera attitude lately. As a parent, you would rather see your child grow up kind than smart. Well, that's a really good question. First of all, I'm not a parent, but if I were a parent, would I want my child to grow up kind than smart? I'm going to put neutral because you know what? If I were a parent, and maybe you parents can agree with me, you want your child to be the best they can. So why can't your child be kind and both kind and smart? So I'm going to say neutral because I think we should aspire to be both. You do not let other people influence your actions. I would level 2 agree with that. I tend to be a self-driven person and get motivated by mostly my ideas. But, you know, if somebody comes to the table with a great idea and stuff, and that can definitely influence me and inspire me. When you sleep, your dreams tend to focus on the real world and its events. Okay, so another sort of personal thing I'm sharing here. Lately, I have not been dreaming. People I've been talking to say that that is not healthy, that your body physically is not healthy. So as much work as I have been doing on trying to be more healthy physically and emotionally and stuff, I think I have a lot of work to do because all the experts say that dreaming is an important part of your health meter, and I have not been dreaming, little or not at all lately, so I'm going to have to put neutral on that. Next, it does not take much time to start getting involved in social activities at your new workplace. I'm going to put neutral because I've always worked for myself. You are more of a natural improviser than a careful planner. I'll put level 2 disagree, even though I'm creative and I love improvising. Not in everyday life stuff. It's ever planned out. Your emotions control you more than you control them. I have to put level 1 agree on that. Sometimes I'm just at the mercy of whether or not I'm going with an up or down spell in my ongoing battle with depression. You enjoy going to social events that involve dress up or role play activities. Oh no, I'm going to put strongly disagree. I'm a pretty relaxed dude, don't like ever wearing a suit, and I've tried to get into the idea of getting excited about, you know, different sort of activities and that type of thing. I have a difficult time with it. So you often spend time exploring unrealistic and impractical yet intriguing ideas. Yes. I'm always mulling over things that just seem impossible and I can't shake them from my head. I won't go into detail, but oh my gosh, I'm always doing that because they're just so intriguing. You would rather improvise than spend time coming up with a detailed plan. No. I'm going to put level 2 on that. I think I'm trying to get better and just being sort of having more of a joie de vivre type of thing, but no, I like planning things. You are relatively reserved and a quiet person. So I'm going to put level 1 on that based on the fact that I'm doing this video, and a lot of you who know me know that, you know, my extroverted public self tends to be quite outgoing, but I am not by nature that way. I tend to be quite introverted and like to be quiet and not talk. So that's a big thing for me. So I'm going to, but not always, obviously. And obviously, if I was very reserved and quiet, I wouldn't be making this video and that kind of thing. So, or, you know, loving and interacting with my friends and family and acquaintances. So I'll put level 1. If you had a business, would you find it very difficult to fire loyal but underperforming employees? Well, you know, I've never been in that position. I've always been self-employed, but I've never really had anybody work for me other than, you know, contract, you know, things like that, but not like as a regular daily employee. So if I did, though, would I find it difficult? I don't think I would. And I think because I am so detailed oriented and I take such passion in what I do that I probably would. That being said, I would probably find it a little bit difficult, so I'm going to put level 2 disagree with that statement. No, agree. Sorry, I would. Oh, no. Oh, yes, let me change. So I'm going to level 2 agree with that statement. No, wait a minute. I'm having dyslexia here. You find it very difficult. No, I would not. I would level 2 disagree. You often contemplate the reasons for human existence. Absolutely. Always. Logic is usually more important than heart when it comes to making important decisions. So even though I'm a detailed planner and stuff like that, believe it or not, I usually go with my gut or my heart when it comes down to I gotta make a decision, something, yes or no, which direction to go. I will usually go with my heart and gut and just what feels right. So I'm going to put level 2. That being said, I love pros and cons lists, and that will often inspire me. So we'll do level 2 disagree. Keeping your options open is more important than having a to-do list. No, I love things to-do lists. And often, ironically, there could be options in that to-do list, so it can get quite complex in my world. So I'm going to put level 2 disagree with that one. If your friend is sad about something, you are more likely to offer emotional support than suggest ways to deal with the problem. Yeah, that's a very tough thing. I think the younger Frank would be more about jumping in and saying, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And stuff. But again, it's one of those trying to mature and become a better person. I don't want to become, I'm trying to be sensitive to not being an abrasive person. So I would think that I would definitely offer more support. But sometimes the old Frank might creep in. So I'm going to only do level 2, agree with that. You rarely feel insecure. Oh my gosh. I'm going to do level 2, disagree with that. That's depression and being an artist. But I feel like I'm getting better. You have no difficulties coming up with a personal timetable and sticking to it. I will do level 2, agree. I like to plan, but sometimes I will break a plan. So I don't stick with it and stuff. With the grip of, never letting go. Being right is more important than being cooperative when it comes to teamwork. That's a very difficult thing for me to do. Like, honestly, I shouldn't really say this because I might jeopardize future collaborations or even current ones, but I don't find I'm a good team player. I find it sometimes very difficult. I shouldn't admit this. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? But sometimes I do find that I will bend. And just to keep something moving along or that kind of thing, I will bend. So I will disagree. I don't always feel the need to be right, but if it's something in the last clenches and it's just really close to my heart, I guess I would stand up and fight for what I think is right. But otherwise, I'm going to disagree with that. You think that everyone's views should be respected regardless of whether they are supported by facts or not. So basically, do I believe strongly in free speech? I guess I do. I guess, though, I'll put only a level 2 on that. I mean, if what somebody's views are spewing is hurtful or racist or sexist, I think those people, you want to put that out there, I will fight for your right to have it out there, but you should also be ready for my wrath or the world's wrath in rebuttal if it truly is wrong. So. And I do also believe in hate speech. I do believe hate speech laws are a good thing. So that being said, 95% of any type of worldly situations, I would agree with that and feel strong about that. You feel more energetic after spending time with a group of people? Yes, I don't know why that is, but I definitely do. So I'm going to strongly agree with that. You frequently misplace your things? No. I never misplace anything. I'm meticulous about knowing where everything is. Very, very rarely happens. You see yourself as very emotionally stable. No. Level 2, I'm getting better, but keeping them even keel. But I have a lot of work to do. But yeah, I'll keep it level 2. Your mind is always buzzing with unexplored ideas and plans. Level 2, yes. Sometimes I'm just busy executing existing plans, so I don't have time to be that. But level 2, otherwise, I am often thinking that. You would not call yourself a dreamer. Well, see, now I often, ironically, don't dream at night, but I'm also often brainstorming. So I'm going to interpret that as like that. And I would disagree since it's saying I wouldn't. I do. Level 2, you usually find it difficult to relax when talking in front of many people. Well, I'm not going to brag or anything, but I actually have absolutely no trouble talking in front of people. I've, in my journey, my professional, creative life, I've had the opportunity many times to talk in front of sometimes little small groups or large crowds. No problems at all. I don't get nervous at all. I don't know why that is. I don't know where that came from. I never worked at it consciously, so I've never had a problem with that. And thankfully so, because it is always a rewarding experience to share a bit of me with the world and stuff. Generally speaking, you rely more on your experiences than your imagination, more on your experience. Well, that's a tough one because, again, I'm in the creative business, and my imagination is where all my ideas and things go, but at the same time, the experience of imagination is something to feel strongly about. So I have a problem with the question. So let's say I will level 1 disagree with that. You worry too much about what other people think. Didn't they already ask this? I'm getting the same question again. So I do worry. You worry too much about what other people think. I will do level 1 agree with that. I am sensitive to other people. Oh my gosh, this is still going, but I think it's the last page. I'm down the home stretch. If the room is full, you stay closer to the walls, avoiding the center. Yes, I would agree with that. Level 1, unless I'm really talking with somebody and that kind of thing. But I tend to be shy in nature, in a social setting, so I would say that. You have a tendency to procrastinate until there's not enough time to do everything. I would do level 2 disagree on that. I tend to like planning things out. You feel very anxious in stressful situations. I can, not public speaking situations, not performance situations, but if something is pending and I can't control it, I have to admit I can get stressed. So I'm going to level 2 agree, but I've been working at it to try to stay calm. You believe that it is more rewarding to be liked by others than to be powerful. Yes. Level 2 agree with that, although I do admit that having power and stature can help in certain ways, so I guess just subconsciously I'm aiming for that. You have always been interested in unconventional and ambiguous things. Example, books, arts, and movies. Strongly agree on that. Always looking for new ideas and different new things to get inspired. You often take initiative in social situations. I can. Social situations. I will organize things, but the social situation has to be somewhat related to my work or creative pursuits or a musical thing, just to make it happen, to get the ball rolling. So, but if it's just purely for social, not really, no, I won't. But since most of my social situations are related to my creative pursuits, then I have to say yes, that would be true. So now I get to press the results button. Drum roll. Okay, the page is loading. Okay, so here are the results. So 16personalities.com says that Frank Horvat is a protagonist. And there's some fancy acronym here, ENFJ-T. So I am categorized as a person with vision and determination. Nothing is impossible. I guess I can agree with that. Now, they've broken down the results into different sections. The first one's mind. This trait determines how we interact with our environment. They say I'm 63% extroverted, 37% introverted. Yeah, I think that would make sense. I feel a little bit like, conflicted with that, but that seems right. Energy. This trait shows where we direct our mental energy. The test says I am 66% intuitive, 34% observant. Yeah, I guess that's the creative side of me there. Nature. This trait determines how we make decisions and cope with emotions. It says I am 25% thinking, but 75% feeling. Yeah, that exactly seems like me. Tactics. This trait reflects our approach to work, planning, and decision making. 89% judging, 11% prospecting. Yep. Identity. This trait underpins all others, showing how confident we are in our abilities and decisions. 32% assertive, 68% turbulent. Man, this is a really awesome test. It nails Frank exactly. And there's a button that says start reading. Okay, so protagonist personality. Quoting 16personalities.com. Everything you do right now ripples outward and affects everyone. I hope so. As a composer, that's what I do. Your posture can shine your heart or transmit anxiety. Yep. Your breath can radiate love or muddy the room in depression. Oh my gosh, I hope I don't do that. If any of you I've depressed just by my aura, I am so sorry. Oh my gosh, that is something else. Your glance can awake joy. Your words can inspire freedom. Your every act can open hearts and minds. That touches me a lot. Protagonists are natural-born leaders full of passion and charisma, forming around 2% of the population. Woo, I feel so special. They are oftentimes our politicians. Oh, I would never hopefully do that. Our coaches and our teachers. Well, teaching music has been a big part and an important part of my life for many years, so that makes sense. Reaching out and inspiring others to achieve and to do good in the world. With a natural confidence that begets influence, protagonists take a great deal of pride and joy in guiding others to work together to improve themselves and their community. We're firm believers in the people. Yes, we can rise up, folks, for sure. The struggle ought not to deter us from the support of a cause we believe to be just. Yep. Other protagonists I may know. I guess I do know these people. Barack Obama, Oprah Winfrey, John Cusack, Ben Affleck. Oh my God, that's hilarious because I always joke with friends. If I ever picked an actor to play me in a movie, it would be Ben Affleck. Don't I look like Ben Affleck? Maybe not. Sean Connery, welcome to the Rook. Jennifer Lawrence, Demi Lovato, Lucy Liu, Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones. Oh my gosh, that's good company. Morpheus from The Matrix, the Oracle from The Matrix, Skylar White from Breaking Bad. That is so cool. Yeah, I guess, but I always felt weird for that character. Isabel Crawley from Downton Abbey. Love that show. And Elizabeth Bennet from Pride and Prejudice. Okay, next. Strengths and weaknesses. What are my strengths? I'm tolerant, I'm reliable, I'm charismatic, I'm altruistic, and natural leader. What are my weaknesses? I'm overly idealistic. Maybe I disagree with that. I've really conscious. Maybe the fact that I've been so overtly conscious and trying to keep peace with people and being more tolerant and stuff means that just naturally I am very idealistic, which I guess I shouldn't argue with. I'm too selfless. I'm too sensitive. Yes. Fluctuating self-esteem. Yes. Struggle to make tough decisions. Yes. Okay, now here's a good one. Romantic relationships. Oh my gosh. I'm a slow walker, but I never walk back. Even in the dating phase, pleading people with the protagonist personality type are ready to show their commitment by taking the time and effort to establish themselves as dependable. Yes, my life partner and I got together in high school, and on our very first date, we planned our whole life together. So, thankfully, maybe she's that same personality. I hope so. So then we were meant to be together, but we didn't have it all planned out and stuff. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow, even by evading it today. Quoting this website, that's pretty cool. Protagonist, friends, on the issue of friends. All my life I have tried to pluck a thistle in a plant to flower wherever the flower would grow. People with the protagonist personality type take genuine pleasure in getting to know other people and have no trouble talking with people of all types and modes and thought. Well, I start to get to know a person, I tend to really love them and feed off their energy. We should be too big to take offense and too noble to give it. Interesting statement. Parenthood. Well, that's interesting because I'm not a parent, but if I were one, whatever you are, be a good one. Protagonist parents take pride in nurturing and inspiring strong values. Well, maybe that's the teacher in me. I try to do that with my students. All that I am or hope to be, I owe to my angel mother. How beautiful. Career paths. Oh, of course, this is always a good one. Don't worry when you are not recognized, but strive to be worthy of recognition. That's a beautiful statement. That's something to live by. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other. Yes, I do feel strongly about self-motivation. Workplace habits. As subordinates, protagonists will often underestimate themselves. Nevertheless, they quickly make an impression on their managers. Well, I work for myself or work with my life partner, but we're equal, so it's hard. Protagonist colleagues. As colleagues, protagonists' desire to assist and cooperate is even more evident as they draw their coworkers into teams where everyone can feel comfortable. Yes. And conclusion. Okay. So, few personality types are as passionate and charismatic as protagonists. Their enthusiasm and vivid imagination allow protagonists to overcome many challenging obstacles, more often than not brightening the lives of those around them. Protagonists' creativity is invaluable in many areas, including their own personal growth. Yet, protagonists can be easily tripped up in areas when their idealism and passion are more of a liability than an asset. Whether it is navigational, interpersonal conflicts, confronting unpleasant facts, pursuing self-realization, or finding a career path that aligns well with your inner core, you may face numerous challenges that at times can even make you question who you really are. This is scary how this is really bang on. For those of you who know me well, if you would disagree, feel free to chime in the comments or whatever, but yeah, I can't help but feel this is me. What you have read so far is just an introduction, and less than 5% of what you can tell about your personality type. You may have muttered yourself, wow, this is so accurate, it's creepy. Or they know more than me, than people I'm closest to. Yeah, partly I said that. So I guess they're just, the folks here are doing their thing. And then this is a stepping stone to join an academy, which I would seem would be a next step to finding yourself. So I'm not going to do that today, but it definitely was an interesting thing. Insight of the day, protagonists are the most likely personality type to say that success requires authenticity. Yes, that is awesome. I guess so just all we want to do is live a life and be happy, but be worthwhile and have purpose, and that's something I definitely think about and hold close to my heart, and it makes sense. So thank you for coming on this super long journey of getting to know Frank's personality type. I was doing this in real time. I had absolutely no idea what was going to happen. I guess I have to conclude that there is no surprises, no shockers. But it was still a fun exercise, and I'm happy you came along with me on it.